Internal and external structure. I've made a video about this before, but we're going to go at it again because it might be something that I'm able to explain a little bit better in this video now that I've got an amazing editor who's able to help me out with it. So we're going to get right into it. External structure essentially literally means the highest and the lowest points in structure. So basically swing structure is what it's called as well. Internal structure basically means everything within that. So everything within that is internal structure. So it's pretty simple, right? You should know that by now, and especially, well, if you haven't watched my earlier videos yet, make sure to watch those where I explain this thoroughly. But anyways, all the structure within that is considered to be internal structure. Now the thing is, a lot of people will overcomplicate it because they will not understand and they don't know how to properly look at it and how to properly differentiate the two, which ultimately leads to confusion, which leads to you not knowing if you got to take this high or the high that's sitting right here or the high that's sitting up there, and eventually you're confused, you don't know what to do, you start zooming out and you get all the more confused. We're going to hop into TradingView and we're going to get to it. All right, so we're in TradingView now, and you'll see that if you go and look at the external structure basically within this piece of price action right here, it's pretty easy to identify. Especially if we go onto the line chart, we'll be able to see the high, the low, the higher high, the higher low, and the higher high. It's relatively easy to understand, right? Everyone probably understands. Now the issue arises when people get confused. They don't know exactly what to do, so what they start to do is they start zooming out. But now what you'll notice is that the structure changes, because now instead of this being our external structure, this becomes our external structure. But let's see if we zoom out even more, we'll start to see that now we've got these really massive swings. So now everything within that becomes internal or external structure. Basically, this could be considered your external structure. So what I'm trying to say, if you're having trouble identifying internal and external structure, make sure to zoom in. Make sure to focus on the more recent price action. By staying focused on the most recent price action, you avoid and you remove that confusion that arises when you start zooming out. So make sure that when you're trading, you're literally focusing on the most recent bit of price action. Now you can zoom out a little bit, of course, which is totally fine if you do prefer to be a little bit more conservative with your trades. However, make sure that whenever you get into a doubt, when you get into a state of confusion, do not start zooming out, because when you start zooming out, that's when the issue arises and you start seeing things that are not relevant for your trading strategy. So that's the number one tip. Focus on the most recent structure. Focus on zooming in a little bit more. And obviously in this case, you could still consider this to be your external structure and this to be your internal structure. That is a matter of how aggressive you want to be as a trader. What I will say though is, if you're confused about it, if you feel that you're uncertain, then just start focusing on the most recent structure. Because ultimately, the most recent structure is what matters most. We're not too worried about what happened 2 years ago. We want to know what happened 2 weeks ago, because that's much more relevant to our strategy. So, quick little tip, quick little short video on the difference between internal and external structure. Hopefully this was a little helpful. I've got another video about this, basically explaining it similarly, maybe a little bit more in detail. So feel free to check that out. I'll be leaving a link up here so you can watch that video next. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next